Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vidam Tam Sachivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vidamscha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimati Vedanta Swami Vinamane Namaste Saraswate Devi Gaurvani Pracharani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanscha Kalpatarubhescha Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivatari Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So welcome everybody for our Saturday afternoon Bhagavad Gita sessions. So I have few options for all of you today because Sri Sundar Chaitanya Prabhu told me that devotees here are a little more interested in learning Bhagavad Gita a little more deeply. They were asking to go a little more deeper in the concepts of the second chapter and what it is exactly saying, and to understand something more. And that's very good. So some options which I am thinking is, again, it's not possible to discuss the whole second chapter in one sitting, even especially when we want to go more deeper. So then one thing we can do is we can have first question and answers in case you have some specific questions which are not yet clear, and maybe that may give you a better understanding of the concepts instead of my speaking so many things and your point not getting clear. So if you have some specific questions, then we can directly discuss those questions and that may improve your understanding. That is one way we can go ahead today. Another way we can go ahead is that I can take one particular theme from the second chapter Bhagavad Gita, and we can maybe a couple of verses only, two or three verses, and we can probe deeper in that. So let's prove, maybe you can have poll vote or whatever you can suggest me. Accordingly I can serve. Because the purpose should be solved. The purpose is that our faith, our convictions, our understanding in Krishna consciousness should be improving. Either we cover a lot of concepts or we cover question answers or few concepts. So yes, what we should do.
Mataji, I mean, I think people can give their opinion how they want to take.
Okay, you can say the option number 1, which is question answer, and they can raise hands, and you can count how many people have raised hands, and then you can give the option number 2 and count the raise of hands for the same, and then whichever the majority or whatever the coordinators they think is good for the audience, we can go ahead.
Okay. So yeah, as Prabhuji suggested, maybe those who are willing to go for question and answer can raise their hands now. Okay, so I don't think, Prabhuji, anybody has raised hands for question answer. So I think then we can go ahead directly to your second option, that would be selecting one theme from the Bhagavad Gita, and then we can start accordingly. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji, that will be better. You teach and then you will ask the question answers.
Okay, fine, no problem. Okay. So, so I don't know whether I covered this particular theme. Maybe you can tell me if I covered this, then I will take some other theme. This is from Bhagwad Gita, chapter 2nd, text number 14 and 15, two verses, where Krishna speaks about the importance of tolerance in the path of spiritual life. Have this been covered, Lalit Bro? At least by me. I don't know about Sundajan Bro.
I mean, I don't really remember that if you covered it, but then chapter 2 was pretty much covered. But then if you have any slide that you want to show it to us, then people can, probably gauge that if that was covered in detail or not. Prabhuji.
Yeah, so I will.
The basic, very difficult. So many things are there, like 62 and 61 and 62 are also very difficult. Needs to be explained. So you explain, Prabhu, yourself.
Mataji, you are saying the verses 61, 62, like that?
Yeah. Jai to Vismyan Pumsa.
Oh, that one. So you want me to cover that one? To have more explanation on that?
Yeah, okay. Prabhuji, you decide whatever you want to do.
We can have, that is a very good topic.
That's very important in chapter 2. So.
Okay, I understood. Then we will discuss this only. Again, okay, so you can see the slides of me. So this section which Mataji just now referred to, this is a very, very important section in the Bhagavad Gita. This section is called as the Sthita Pragya, the section of Sthita Pragya, which starts from verse number 54 and goes to verse number 72. So again, it's a one section only, and it is very long also, and the concepts are very deep. So we will see how many concepts we can cover today. I have one slideshow to share with all of you. You're able to see?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, somebody can read the topic.
Yes, Prabhuji. How to get juice in Krishna consciousness in conditioned stage.
So what is the meaning of this topic, how to get juice in Krishna consciousness conditioned state? So first of all, let us try to understand what is the meaning of conditioned state. So conditioned state means where we are not yet spiritually awakened, which means we have not overcome the three modes of nature. You know what are the three modes? The mode of goodness, the mode of passion, and the mode of ignorance. So these three modes, they actually control every single body, every single person, every single activity, every single situation in this world. And everybody is under the control of the three modes. And these three modes are the modes of material nature, which is the illusory energy of the Lord. So हर व्यक्ति संसार में प्रकृति के तीन गुणों से बंधा हुआ है. इस दुनिया में हमें लगता है कि हम कंट्रोल में हैं, हम अपने थॉट्स, वर्ड्स, डीड्स, इन सब के कंट्रोल में है, सिचुएशन कंट्रोल में. लेकिन वास्तविक रियलिटी क्या है कि हम कंट्रोल में नहीं है, हम कंट्रोल्ड हैं. किसके द्वारा कंट्रोल्ड है? हम कंट्रोल्ड हैं इन गुणों के द्वारा, इन मोड्स के द्वारा. सो कंडीशनड स्टेज वो स्टेज है जहां पे व्यक्ति ये प्रकृति के तीन गुणों के द्वारा कंट्रोल्ड है. और उसके जीवन में जो कुछ भी घट रहा है वो ये तीन मोड्स कंट्रोल कर रहे हैं. जैसे एक कार आप चलाते हैं ना, कार को गियर कंट्रोल करते हैं, ऐसे हमारा जीवन कंट्रोल होता है मोड्स के द्वारा. तो इसे कंडीशन स्टेट बोलते हैं. और कंडीशन स्टेट के ऑपोजिट होती है लिबरेटेड स्टेट. लिबरेटेड स्टेट मींस वो स्टेज जहां पे व्यक्ति ये प्रकृति के गुणों के कंट्रोल में नहीं होता है, वो इतना एलिवेटेड हो चुका है अपने स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ में कि वो एक उसका पोजीशन जो है वो बाहरी दृष्टि से एक कोई भी ऑर्डिनरी व्यक्ति की तरह ही दिखेगा, लेकिन वो एक दूसरे प्लेटफॉर्म पे स्टेट है, मतलब अलग डायमेंशन पे वो व्यक्ति काम करता है. वो लिबरेटेड स्टेट में कहलाता है, जीवन मुक्त कहलाता है. जीवन मुक्त अर्थात वो इस दुनिया में रहते हुए भी, सारे कार्य करते हुए भी कोई भी गतिविधि से बनता नहीं है, एक मुक्त अवस्था में वो जीवन जीता है, उसे बोलते हैं लिबरेटेड स्टेज। तो वास्तविक स्पिरिचुअल प्रैक्टिस, real spiritual practice, real spiritual experience actually happens in that liberated state. But then here the question which we just now showed you in the slide is how to experience that spiritual flavor, how to experience that spiritual taste, or how to situate ourselves on that spiritual platform even when we are not liberated, even when we are still conditioned, still when we are under the control of the modes, like that. So I hope now you are able to relate to the topic a little bit, because the question itself is a very weighted question. So you see, when somebody starts to practice spiritual life, जब कोई spiritual life practice करना चालू करता है, तो उसको बहुत सारे नियम कानून बताए जाते हैं। आपको ये करना है, फिर आपको ये करना है, फिर आपको ये करना है, आप अपने हैबिट सुधारो, ऐसा करो, वैसा करो। तो फिर क्या होता है कि ऐसा सब सुनने के बाद व्यक्ति सोचता है, माय गॉड, स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ इतना आसान नहीं है, और ये लोग बड़ी बड़ी बातें कर रहे हैं, बड़े बड़े प्रोमिसेस दे रहे हैं कि आपको स्पिरिचुअल हैप्पीनेस मिलेगा, आपको इटर्नल हैप्पीनेस मिलेगा, स्पिरिचुअल टेस्ट मिलेगा, लेकिन उसके लिए प्राइस जो पे करना पड़ रहा है वो बहुत बड़ा है। तो मैं तो अभी इतना बड़ा प्राइस नहीं पे कर पाऊंगा ये स्पिरिचुअल हैप्पीनेस लेने का। तो व्यक्ति एक कठिन परिस्थिति में जाता है। एक तरफ वो स्पिरिचुअल हैप्पीनेस भी चाहता है, दूसरी तरफ वो सोचता है कि मैं तो अभी उतना सक्षम नहीं हूं कि मैं इतने सारे नियम कानून पालन कर पाऊं, वो स्पिरिचुअल हैप्पीनेस गेन करूं, क्योंकि मैं तो अभी कंडीशन स्टेट में हूं। तो यहाँ पे हमें भगवद गीता से इस सेक्शन में कुछ क्लूज मिलेंगे, जिसमें भगवान बता रहे हैं कि कंडीशन स्टेट में रहते हुए भी हम कैसे वो स्पिरिचुअल हैप्पीनेस को एक्सपीरियंस कर सकते हैं। ऐसा नहीं है कि स्पिरिचुअल हैप्पीनेस एक्सपीरियंस करने के लिए आप स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड चले जाएंगे, आप लिबरेशन के बाद ही एक्सपीरियंस कर सकते हैं। नहीं, ये लाइफ जीते हुए भी आप वो स्पिरिचुअल हैप्पीनेस, वो स्पिरिचुअल टेस्ट, वो स्पिरिचुअल जूस वो आप एक्सपीरियंस कर सकते हैं। वो कैसे करेंगे वो भगवान हमें अभी बताएंगे आगे। तो ये स्लाइड शो में हम कुछ सेक्शन बताएं, उसमें शेयर करेंगे आपके साथ। तो आगे बढ़ते हैं। तो जैसे मैंने बताया ये सेक्शन है 2.54 to 72, बड़ा सेक्शन है, तो पूरा हम आज नहीं कवर कर पाएंगे, लेकिन कुछ श्लोकों में हम डेप्थ में जाके उनको चर्चा करेंगे। तो इसे बोलते हैं स्थित प्रज्ञा और द स्टेज ऑफ समाधि, सिम्टम्स ऑफ ए सेल्फ रियलाइज्ड पर्सन। अभी देखिए यहाँ पे जो भी डिस्क्रिप्शन आने वाला है वो आने वाला है एक ऐसे व्यक्ति के बारे में जो समाधि की स्टेज पर है। उसे टेक्निकली बोलते हैं स्थित प्रज्ञा, जो कि एक सेल्फ रियलाइज्ड पर्सन है। लेकिन हम ये भी चर्चा करेंगे कि हम अभी सेल्फ रियलाइज नहीं है, समाधि की स्टेज हमें अभी नहीं मिली है, लेकिन हम समाधि की स्टेज नहीं मिले बिना भी उस समाधि की फीलिंग्स को कैसे एक्सपीरियंस कर सकते हैं थोड़ा थोड़ा। जैसे कोई भी आप जर्नी में जा रहे हैं, अगर मान लीजिए पूना से बंबई जा रहे हैं, तो या मुंबई से पूना आ रहे हैं, तो अलग अलग लैंडमार्क्स आते हैं, जैसे करजत आता है, फिर लोनावाला आता है, तो आपको लैंडमार्क्स मिलते हैं, आपको पता लगता है हाँ मैं पूना की तरफ बढ़ रहा हूँ। उसी प्रकार से सेक्शन में हमें कुछ लैंडमार्क्स मिलेंगे जिससे हमें पता लगेगा कि ठीक है मैं समाधि की तरफ बढ़ रहा हूँ। उससे हमें थोड़ा कॉन्फिडेंस बढ़ेगा स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ में। जैसे कॉन्फिडेंस बढ़ता है तो जूस स्पिरिचुअल एक्सपीरियंसेस आते हैं, ऐसे करके। ओके, या somebody can please read this slide.
Yes, Prabhuji. Practical application of Shitha Prachna understanding. One who is fixed in KC, Krishna conscious, is beyond the disturbance of external material phenomena. He can experience and transcend even while in this body. Satisfaction is the fundamental symptom of one fixed in understanding of constitutional position.
तो अभी ये जो सेक्शन हम डिस्कस करने जा रहे हैं स्थित प्रज्ञा, इसका प्रैक्टिकल एप्लीकेशन इस स्लाइड में हमने आपको बताया। प्रैक्टिकल एप्लीकेशन क्या है? प्रैक्टिकल एप्लीकेशन ये है सबसे पहला कि सेटिस्फैक्शन अर्थात संतुष्टता, इट इज द फंडामेंटल सिम्टम ऑफ वन फिक्स्ड इन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल पोजीशन। कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल पोजीशन अर्थात जो व्यक्ति ये समझता है, ये जानता है कि भाई मैं शरीर नहीं हूं, मैं आत्मा हूं, और मैं इस दुनिया को बिलोंग नहीं करता, मैं स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड को बिलोंग करता हूं, और मेरा भगवान के साथ एक शाश्वत संबंध है, जो कि है कि मैं उनका एक नित्य दास हूं, उनका एक इटर्नल सर्वेंट हूं। जो व्यक्ति इसको जानता है, इसे बोलते हैं कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल पोजीशन। तो जो व्यक्ति इस कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल पोजीशन में, अर्थात इस नॉलेज में फिक्स्ड रहता है, उसका सबसे पहला लक्षण क्या होता है कि वो व्यक्ति अपने जीवन में हर परिस्थिति में संतुष्टता महसूस करता है, सेटिस्फैक्शन महसूस करता है। और जब वो ये सेटिस्फैक्शन महसूस करता है, तो इस सेटिस्फैक्शन के थ्रू ही वो अपने जीवन में ट्रांसेंडेंस, अर्थात दिव्यता, इवन इस दुनिया में रहते हुए भी प्राप्त कर सकता है या एक्सपीरियंस कर सकता है। जैसे जैसे कई बार जब किसी का देहांत हो जाता है, तो लोग एक बार बोलते हैं ना कि अरे वो फलाने फलाने व्यक्ति शांत हो गए, ऐसा बोलते हैं ना कि वो फलाने व्यक्ति शांत हो गए। ऐसा शांत होना क्यों बोलते हैं? क्योंकि लोगों को लगता है कि भाई जब तक आप ये जीवन जी रहे हो, तो इसमें आप बहुत अशांत हो, क्योंकि आपके अनेक प्रकार की इच्छाएं हैं, और अनेक प्रकार की इच्छाएं होने के कारण आप हमेशा अशांत रहते हैं। तो लोगों को लगता है कि जब आप ये शरीर छोड़ देंगे, आपको मोक्ष प्राप्त हो जाएगा, तो आपकी कोई इच्छा ही नहीं बचेगी। तो जब कोई इच्छा ही नहीं बचेगी, तो आप शांत हो जाएंगे। इसलिए लोगों को लगता है कि जब कोई व्यक्ति शरीर छोड़ता है, वो शांत हो जाता है। लेकिन ऐसा नहीं है। शरीर छोड़ने के बाद भी जरूरी नहीं कोई व्यक्ति शांत हो, क्योंकि अगर इच्छाएं हैं तो वापस शरीर मिलेगा, वापस से जन्म मृत्यु के चक्र में पड़ जाएगा। लेकिन ये स्थित प्रज्ञ के कंसेप्ट को समझते हुए और स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ कल्टीवेट करते हुए हम उस परम शांति को इसी जीवन में अनुभव कर पाएंगे, ये भगवान हमें समझा रहे हैं। तो भगवान बोल रहे हैं कि अरे, शांति को अनुभव करने के लिए आपको मोक्ष का इंतजार करने की जरूरत नहीं है। अगर आप अपना जीवन आध्यात्मिक प्रिंसिपल्स, स्पिरिचुअल प्रिंसिपल्स के आधार पर जिएंगे, तो वो शांति जो व्यक्ति मोक्ष के बाद प्राप्त करता है, आप अभी उसको महसूस कर पाएंगे। उसको ट्रांसेंडेंस बोलते हैं। और कैसे पता करेंगे कोई व्यक्ति वो स्पिरिचुअल स्टेज पर है कि नहीं? तो उसका सिम्टम क्या है? सेटिस्फैक्शन। उस व्यक्ति के जीवन में सेटिस्फैक्शन, जो व्यक्ति सेटिस्फाइड है, उससे हम पता लगा पाएंगे कि वो स्पिरिचुअली कितना एलिवेटेड है। तो आगे भगवान आप बताने वाले हैं। तो ये जब सेक्शन चालू होता है, तो 2.54 से चालू होता है। वहां पे अर्जुन भगवान से कुछ प्रश्न करते हैं। तो क्या प्रश्न करते हैं वो हम श्लोक पढ़ के आपको बताएंगे। या तो ये आप स्क्रीन पे देख सकते हैं, श्लोक नंबर 2.54।
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी।
जी माता जी।
प्रभु जी, ये सेटिस्फेक्शन को हम इस वे में भी ले सकते हैं कि कंप्लीट फेथ इन कृष्णा, कि कंप्लीट फेथ लाइक
यस माता जी,
कंप्लीट सरेंडर, कंप्लीट फेथ।
या आप बोल सकते हैं, आप ऐसा बोल सकते हैं कि जिस व्यक्ति को, मतलब ये वाइस वर्सा है, जिस व्यक्ति को भगवान के ऊपर पूरी श्रद्धा है, तो वो हर परिस्थिति में ऑटोमेटिकली सेटिस्फाइड रहेगा। और जो व्यक्ति सेटिस्फाइड है जीवन में, अर्थात जिसकी भौतिक इच्छाएं पूरी हो चुकी है, तो ऑटोमेटिकली फिर वो इस दुनिया में कुछ और ढूंढने के लिए नहीं बैठा है। फिर वो ऑटोमेटिकली उसका फेथ भगवान की तरफ, उसकी श्रद्धा, उसका संकल्प, उसका विश्वास, उसका डायरेक्शन जीवन में भगवान की तरफ ऑटोमेटिकली बढ़ेगा। तो इट कैन गो एनी वे राउंड। आइदर जिसकी भगवान में श्रद्धा है उसको सेटिस्फैक्शन मिलेगा, या जो व्यक्ति सेटिस्फाइड है उसकी भगवान में श्रद्धा बढ़ती जाएगी। ऐसा करके तो यहाँ पे आप ये श्लोक देख सकते हैं। अर्जुन बोल रहा है 2.54 में, स्थित प्रज्ञस्य का भाषा समाधिस्थस्य केशव स्थितधि किम प्रभाषेत किम आसीत व्रजेत किम। या कोई ट्रांसलेशन पढ़िए।
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी।
पढ़िए पढ़िए।
O Krishna, what are the symptoms of one whose consciousness is thus merged in transcendence? How does he speak and what is his language? How does he sit and how does he walk?
Yeah. So here Arjuna has asked 4 questions from Krishna. So 4 questions Arjuna has asked, which I will show you in one slide. Yeah. just to help you understand. Yeah. So in this, the theme is saying that Arjuna is asking 4 questions as to how to recognize a person situated in Krishna consciousness or self-realized soul, स्थित प्रज्ञ। एक स्थित प्रज्ञ व्यक्ति जो समाधि में स्थित है, उसको हम कैसे पहचानेंगे? देखिए, समाधि जब मैं बोल रहा हूं तो आप ये मत सोचिए समाधि मतलब कोई जंगल में बैठा हुआ है, आलती पालती मारकर एकदम आंख बंद कर वही समाधि में नहीं। जो भगवान के भक्त होते हैं या जो बहुत ही आध्यात्मिक प्रगति करे हुए व्यक्ति होते हैं, वो इस दुनिया में आपको सामान्य व्यक्ति की तरह दिखेंगे। वो ऑफिस जाएंगे, धंधा करेंगे, अपना काम करेंगे, कुछ सब कुछ करेंगे, लेकिन वो व्यक्ति समाधि में है। वो कैसे हम पता लगा पाएंगे? अर्जुन वही पूछ रहा है कि उसके सिम्टम क्या है। अर्जुन पूछ रहा है कि भगवान, जो व्यक्ति समाधि में है, स्थित प्रज्ञ है, उसके सिम्टम क्या है, जनरल सिम्टम। तो 2 पॉइंट आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं, भगवान 2.55 में उसका आंसर करेंगे कि व्यक्ति के जनरल सिम्टम क्या है। फिर अर्जुन पूछ रहा है हाउ डज ही स्पीक, मतलब वो बोलता कैसे। यहाँ पे बोलने का अर्थ क्या है कि यहाँ पे आपको पता लगेगा कि बोलने का अर्थ केवल बोलना नहीं, बोलने का अर्थ यहाँ पे वो अपने सेंसेस को कैसे एंगेज करता है। जो हमारे अलग अलग सेंसेस होते हैं, आंख, नाक, कान, इन सबको वो कैसे एंगेज करता है, इसका अर्थ है बोलना। हाउ डज ही सिट, हाउ डज ही सिट मीन्स ऐसा नहीं कि वो कुर्सी पे कैसे बैठता है। सिट मीन्स हाउ इज ही सिचुएटेड इन दिस वर्ल्ड, which means while interacting with the objects of this world, while interacting with the sense objects. For example, for the eyes, the sense object is form. For the tongue, the sense object is taste. For the ears, the sense object is sound. So these are sense objects. For every senses we have a sense object. So when he engage with the sense objects, how does he engage with them? Does he become entangled, or he very expertly deal with the sense objects? That's the meaning of how does he sit. And how does he walk means how does he deal with different kind of situations and different kind of people in this world. How does he walk does not mean how does he walk. How does he walk mean while living in this world, when good and bad situations comes to him, how does he deal with them and remain focused on his goal. So the 4 questions which Arjuna is asking here, what are the general symptoms, how does he speak, sit and walk, it is not just about speaking, sit and walking, it's about the overall personality. एक व्यक्ति जो समाधि में है, वो इस दुनिया में सिचुएशन से कैसे डील करता है, लोगों से कैसे डील करता है, सेंस ऑब्जेक्ट्स, प्रलोभन, टेम्पटेशंस जब उसके जीवन में आते हैं तब वो कैसे डील करता है, और हाउ डज ही स्पीक, अपने सेंसेस को वो कैसे एंगेज करता है। तो ये बहुत ही डीप क्वेश्चंस है जो अर्जुन ने केवल एक ही क्वेश्चन में भगवान से पूछ लिए। तो अभी 2.55 से कृष्णा स्टार्ट्स एक्सप्लेनिंग अबाउट द सिम्टम्स ऑफ ए स्थित प्रज्ञ। ओके, so here's the first question, general symptoms of a self-realized person. So it says that he gives up all material desires of sense gratification, born of mental concoction, thus purified in mind, one finds satisfaction in self alone. I'll explain these concepts one by one as they are coming. Yeah. So इसको हम अब थोड़ा सा प्रभुपाद जी के पर्पट से हम थोड़ा चर्चा करेंगे ऐसे करके। तो 2.55 वर्स में ओके, मैं आपको वर्स भी दिखाता हूँ ताकि आपको और थोड़ा सा क्लियर रहेगा। ओके, सो भगवान यहाँ पे बोल रहे हैं, श्री भगवान उवाचा प्रजाहाति यदा कामान सर्वान् पार्थो मनोगदान् आत्मन्येवात्मना तुष्टा स्थित प्रज्ञस्तदुच्यते। ओके, पढ़िए, कोई ट्रांसलेशन पढ़ेगा?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Somebody who has not read can read. Every time one person can read, so that everybody will get chance.
Okay, Prabhuji, I will do.
Yeah.
Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Partha, when a man gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification, which arise from mental confusion, and when his mind thus purified finds satisfaction in the self alone, then he is said to be in pure transcendental consciousness.
Very good. Thank you, Mataji. So here in this particular thing, we can pay our attention to few things that Krishna is highlighting. First is Krishna is saying, एक समाधि में स्थित व्यक्ति का सिम्टम क्या है कि he gives up all material desires. तो जितनी भी भौतिक कामनाएं वो सब छोड़ देता है, जो कि किससे पैदा होती है? बोर्न ऑफ मेंटल कॉन्कॉक्शन, उसके मनोधर्म से, उसके मनगढ़ित विचारों से वो मटेरियल भौतिक इच्छाएं पैदा होती हैं, और ऐसे भौतिक इच्छाओं को त्यागने के बाद व्यक्ति अपने मन में शुद्ध होता है और अपने आत्मा में ही संतुष्टता महसूस करता है। अब हम इसको थोड़ा एनालाइज करके थोड़ा इसको और समझने का प्रयास करते हैं। सो सबसे पहला क्वेश्चन उठता है, कोई भी पूछेगा कि कोई भी पूछ सकता है कि प्रभु जी, भगवान बोल रहे हैं कि वन हैज टू गिव अप मटेरियल डिजायर्स बोर्न ऑफ मेंटल कॉन्कॉक्शन। सो अभी मटेरियल डिजायर जो है, भौतिक इच्छाएं, हाउ डज वन कैन गिव अप ऑल मटेरियल डिजायर्स? क्या ये पॉसिबल है कि हम सारी भौतिक इच्छाएं छोड़ सकते हैं? क्योंकि इतना आसान नहीं लगता है। खास करके बंबई जैसे शहर में रहते हुए, जहाँ पे आप थोड़ा सा अपने अपार्टमेंट से बाहर निकलेंगे तो चारों तरफ इतना बॉम्बार्डमेंट है मटेरियल एनर्जी का, इतने सारे बिल बोर्ड्स हैं, इतने सारे एडवर्टाइजमेंट्स हैं, और जिधर भी आप जाओ 24/7 वी आर बॉम्बार्डेड बाय सो मेनी ऑफरिंग्स फ्रॉम दिस वर्ल्ड। आप ये लो, ये एंजॉय करो, यहाँ जाओ, ये एक्सपीरियंस करो, ऐसे करके। तो कोई भी टिपिकल व्यक्ति इस दुनिया में, he is a sent person filled with so many material desires. So when somebody read Bhagwad Geeta and read this kind of statements, he may think that I think Krishna is speaking something of impossibility to become free from all material desires. लगता है ये पॉसिबल ही नहीं है। कोई ऐसा सोच सकता है। तो हाँ, ये पॉसिबल नहीं है अगर कोई व्यक्ति आर्टिफिशियली ट्राई करे तो। इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल टू be free from material desires through artificial means, like that. But through Krishna consciousness one can become free from all material desires. What I mean by artificial, देखिए आजकल बहुत सारे ऐसे तथाकथित स्पिरिचुअल ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं जो लोगों को बोलते हैं कि अगर आपको स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ में एडवांस करना है तो आपको मटेरियल डिजायर्स छोड़ना पड़ेंगे। लेकिन मटेरियल डिजायर्स कैसे छोड़ना पड़ेंगे? मटेरियल एक्टिविटीज बंद करके, मतलब आपको एक्टिविटीज छोड़ना पड़ेंगे, ऐसा बोलते हैं। तो मतलब जैसे आपने गांधी जी के 3 बंदर देखे। गांधी जी के 3 बंदर कैसे दिखते हो? एक बोलता है कुछ मत देखो, दूसरा बोलता है कुछ मत सुनो, तीसरा बोलता है कुछ मत बोलो। तो अधिकतर बार so called spiritual organizations, so called spiritual people teach people this only, that if you want to be free from material desire, you have to stop all material activities. आपको सारे कार्य छोड़ना पड़ेंगे तभी आप फ्री हो पाएंगे मटेरियल डिजायर। लेकिन ऐसा होता नहीं है, क्योंकि मटेरियल डिजायर्स जो है वो एक्सटर्नल नहीं होते, वो तो मन में है कि नहीं? वो मन में बैठे हुए डिजायर्स हैं। तो कोई व्यक्ति अगर बाहर से एक्टिविटीज बंद भी कर दे तो क्या कोई गारंटी है कि उसके डिजायर्स खत्म हो जाएंगे? नहीं, क्योंकि डिजायर्स एक्शंस में नहीं है। एक्शंस तो केवल एक सिम्टम्स है डिजायर का। डिजायर किधर है? डिजायर तो उसके अंदर बैठे हुए। तो केवल एक्टिविटी बंद करके कोई मटेरियल डिजायर को कैसे ओवरकम कर सकता है? लेकिन ये जो रॉन्ग स्पिरिचुअल टीचिंग जो लोग देते हैं वो लोगों को ये बोलते हैं कि आप कुछ एक्टिविटी मत करो तो आपके मटेरियल डिजायर खत्म हो जाएंगे। ऐसा आर्टिफिशियली कोई भी नहीं छोड़ सकता है, क्योंकि आत्मा का स्वभाव है एक्टिव रहना। इसलिए कैसे व्यक्ति ओवरकम कर सकता है मटेरियल डिजायर को? सो बाय कंप्लीट एंगेजमेंट इन कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस। भगवान की सेवा में जब हम लग जाएंगे, भगवान की सेवा में जब हम व्यस्त हो जाएंगे, तभी हम इन भौतिक इच्छाओं को ऊपर कर सकते हैं। तो आई विल गिव यू वन सिंपल एग्जांपल। जैसे मान लीजिए ग्लास है, आपसे कोई बोले इस ग्लास में वैक्यूम क्रिएट करिए, तो आप वैक्यूम क्रिएट कर सकते हैं ग्लास में? हाँ, कर सकते हैं, लेकिन कितनी देर के लिए कर पाएंगे? ज्यादा देर वैक्यूम क्रिएट नहीं कर पाएंगे। थोड़ी देर बाद क्या होगा, कहीं ना कहीं से एयर लीक होकर ग्लास में घुसी जाएगी। लेकिन एक दूसरा तरीका है ग्लास में सारी एयर निकालने का। वो दूसरा तरीका क्या है कि वो जो एम्प्टी ग्लास है उसमें आप पानी भर दीजिए। अगर आप उस ग्लास को पूरा पानी से भर देंगे तो ग्लास के अंदर क्या कोई हवा रह पाएगी? नहीं रह पाएगी। तो उसी प्रकार से आप ग्लास को हमारा हार्ट मानिए। लेट अस कंपेयर आवर हार्ट टू द ग्लास and let us compare to the air inside the glass to the material desires. Now we have two ways we can take the material desires out, or we can take air out of the glass. One way is to create a vacuum in the glass. तो हमारे हार्ट में भी ऐसा एक वैक्यूम क्रिएट करो कि कुछ भी बस I don't want to think anything. This is very difficult. It's not very practical also. Another way is you can fill the glass with water. When you fill the glass with water, there's no air in the glass. Similarly, we can fill our life, our heart, our life with our time with so many spiritual engagements. So many spiritual engagements. We can spiritualize our desire. Instead of giving up the desires, we can spiritualize them. When we spiritualize the desires, we are active, we have desires. At the same time, we are not bound by or we are not affected by the material component of the desire. Just like filling the glass with water. So that is what Krishna is explaining. Because without spiritual engagements, without positive spiritual engagement, it is practically impossible to be free from material desires. One is sure to fall down. Like that. There are so many people in so many spiritual fields who try for sannyas, who try for moksha, liberation, and spiritual elevation, spiritual transformation, all this, and they artificially try to give up activities. After some time, they come back to square one. It's not possible because mind is just very difficult to control. That's why the mind has to be engaged in positive spiritual activity, like that. Now, for mind to be engaged in positive spiritual activity, there's a prerequisite. What the prerequisite? That our mind has to like spiritual activities. हमारे मन को spiritual activities पसंद आना चाहिए. अभी हमारा प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि हमारे माइंड को स्पिरिचुअल एक्टिविटीज पसंद नहीं है. ये प्रॉब्लम है. और माइंड, तो जब माइंड को स्पिरिचुअल एक्टिविटीज पसंद नहीं है तो फिर माइंड रेडी कैसे होगा स्पिरिचुअल एक्टिविटीज करने के लिए? इसलिए अगर हमें अपने माइंड को लाइक करवाना है स्पिरिचुअल एक्टिविटीज, तो उसके लिए एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज हमें करना पड़ेगी. वो क्या है कि वी हैव टू reinforce our identity as a servant of God. I will repeat this statement. We have to reinforce our identity that I am a servant of God. I am eternal servant of God. आप देखिए, बहुत सिंपल है इस चीज को समझना. हम इस दुनिया में जिस चीज से भी आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं, उस चीज उस डोमेन की एक्टिविटीज में हम घुस जाते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, if somebody identify himself with the country, I am Indian, I am Indian, I am Indian, then automatically he will develop a lot of patriotic feelings, and then he will try to do something for the country. His time, his energy, his money, his activities will be directed towards the benefit of the country. If somebody identify himself with the family, I am the, you can say, I am the, maintainer of this family. If you identify like this, then your time, energy, consciousness, mentality will be fully directed towards the activities of the family. Similarly, somebody identify himself with some particular samaj, say Sharma Samaj, Varma Samaj, or this samaj, that samaj, whatever. So many samaj are there. Somebody too much identify, we are this samaj people. Then automatically you will find them, working towards the benefit of that samaj. You will find them running here, running there, doing this, doing that. Some other, no matter how much busy they are, they will find out time for that, doing some activity for their samaj. Is it not? So it's a very simple point. Whatever you identify yourself with, your time, energy, everything goes towards that. For example, there's a saying in English. It says that energy flows where intent goes. You've heard this saying? Energy flows where intent goes. So wherever your intent, which means how your intent is created, wherever you identify yourself, that's where intent is created. And wherever your intent is created, there your energy will flow. So Krishna is giving us a clue that if we want to spiritualize our material desires, we have to make our mind like spiritual activities. अपने मन को, हमारे मन को पसंद आना चाहिए स्पिरिचुअल एक्टिविटीज. और वो स्पिरिचुअल एक्टिविटीज पसंद कैसे आएंगी? जब हमारा मन ये आइडेंटिफाई करेगा कि हम भगवान के दास हैं. Our real identity is that we are servants of Krishna. We are servants of God. We are not Hindu, we are not Muslim, we are not Christian, we are not Sikh, we are not Indian, we are not American, we are not European, we are not this or that, we are not Sharma, Varma, this, that. We are not men or women. We are not these bodies. So to the degree we remember or reinforce this conception, and who am I? Jiver Swarupa Hoye Krishna Anantadas, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself, who appeared just 500 years before. Krishna appeared as a devotee, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If you come to ISKCON temple, you will see God Natai raised hand like this. So he's Krishna himself, but he appeared as a devotee. So when he is giving the teachings to his disciple Sanatan Goswami was a very learned scholar, and he asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu one very fundamental question: who am I? Main kaun hu? What is my real identity? That time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave him many teachings, but the foundation teaching which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave him is that Jivera Swarupa Hoye Krishnera Nityadas, the eternal constitutional position, the eternal identity of every living being in this world is that it is eternally a servant of God, servant of Krishna. So to the degree this conception is reinforced in our heart, to that degree our identity is now I am a servant of Krishna. So I am a servant of Krishna, then what I am supposed to do? I am supposed to serve Krishna. So when I am supposed to serve Krishna, how will I serve Krishna? By engaging in spiritual activities. So when I engage in spiritual activities, then where is time for material activities? And where is time for material desires? Like that it is saying. So by realizing our eternal servitorship to the Supreme Lord, we will have no sense desire for petty materialism. For petty materialistic things, we will have no time or no interest like that. Now, in the further verses, Krishna will give a lot of Prabhupada. Krishna and Prabhupada and the purport will give many examples. For example, I'm remembering one example of one king named Ambarish. There was one great king. His name was King Ambarish. You will read about him in the 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So there, it said that this King Ambarish was the king of the whole planet. It was not just Chota Mota king, not some prime minister or president of some Chota Mota country. He was the king of the whole planet, but he was a perfectly Krishna conscious devotee. And how he used to engage himself in spiritual activities? He used to, like there are some verses which says, there are 3 verses which says, Savai mana Krishna padara vindayor vacham sivaikuntha guna nuvarnana karo harer mandir marjanadishu shrutim chakarachyusa satkathodaya mukundalingalaya darshana drisho tad vrittagata sparshanga sangamam Grananta Tajpaj Sarora Saurabam Srimat Tulasya Rasanam Tadarpite Pado Rishikesh Padanu Sarpane Shiro Rishikesh Padabhivandane Kamam Tudasyam Natu Kama Kamyaya Yaduttama Shloka Gunashayarati. So these 3 shlokas comes in 9th canto of Bhagavatam. They explain how Ambarish Maharaj engaged his entire senses and entire life in Krishna consciousness. So it says one by one. He says, Savai mana Krishna padara vindayor. With his mind, he was always thinking of the lotus feet of Krishna. How? By chanting the names of Krishna. So when we chant Hare Krishna, actually we are thinking of Krishna. So the way of engaging the mind in Krishna is by chanting. Savai mana Krishna padara vindayor. And then second they are saying, Vacham si Vaikuntha Gudanu Varnane. Ambarish Maharaj engaged his Vacha. Vacha means the tongue, the speaking ability. How he engaged? Vaikuntha Gunanu Varnane. He engaged his speaking ability in discussing the glorification of the Lord and Lord's pastimes, the Lord of Vaikuntha, like that. So that's what he engaged his tongue. Vacham si Vaikuntha Gunanu Varnane. Then Shrutim and Karo Harer Mandir Marjanadashu. How did Ambarish Maharaj engage his hands? Through his hands, he engaged in cleaning the temple. Like those days, the kings used to have temples in their homes. So Ambarish Maharaj had a temple in his kingdom, in his palace, where Krishna deities was there. So he used to go in personally, although he has hundreds and thousands of servants, because he's a king, but he used to personally clean the temple of the Lord. He used to decorate the Lord. Like this, he engaged his hands. And then Shrutim Chakara Chusasat Kathodaya. And Shrutim means ears. How does he utilize his ears? He utilizes ears in hearing the Katha of the Lord. In hearing the Katha of the Lord he utilized. And then next says about the eyes. Mukundalinga Layadarshana Drisho. Mukundalinga. So how does he utilize his eyes? Mukundalinga means by taking the darshan of the forms of the Lord. Tad Vrittagatra Sparshanga Sangamam. And how does he utilize this touching? Touching is also one of the sense or functions. So you utilize his touching ability by washing the feet of the great sages and saintly people. Like that. Or like that. Like in our Hare Krishna temple also, sometimes in dancing kirtan, we dance with devotees. If you have seen in festival time, devotees, they catch each other's hands and they dance in circles. So in this way, touching the bodies of devotees while dancing in kirtan or washing their feet, this is the perfection of the touch. And then he's saying, Granam tatat paj saroda sauram granan. Granan means the nose. So nose, with the nose, what he did? Granan tatat paj saroj saurabam. Saroj saurabam. The flowers which are offered at the feet of the Lord, or the tulasi which is offered at the feet of the Lord, Amrish Maharaj took the smell of those flowers and tulasi. So he took the smell of those flowers. Like if you come to our temple in Aarti time, in Aarti time, they will offer the incense, the perfume which is offered to the Lord. They will give it to you on your hand. They will rub like this, and they will ask you to smell. You can smell it like that. So that's how we utilize our nose. So that's a Granam Tatatpa Saroda Saurabam and Shrimat Tulasya Tadarpite. And how does Amrish Maharaj utilize the tongue? How do you utilize the tongue? Through the tongue, he tasted the tulasi offered to the lotus feet of the Lord and also the prasadam of the Lord. So all of you know, prasadam is very famous in our ISKCON temples. And so by tasting prasadam, we can utilize our tongue in Krishna's service. And then in the next verse he is saying, Pado Rishikesh Padanu Sarpane. How did Amrish Maharaj utilize his feet? उन्होंने अपने पैरों का इस्तेमाल कैसे किया? उन्होंने अपने पैरों का इस्तेमाल किया भगवान के मंदिर जाने के लिए. शिरो ऋषिकेश पदाभिवंदने. और अपने सर का इस्तेमाल कैसे किया? भगवान के सामने झुकने के लिए. इस प्रकार से तो हम देखिए, मैंने आपको कितने सारे आइटम गिना दिए. आईज, नोज, टंग, ईयर्स, टच, correct, mind, and sir, and feet, hands, everything. In this they utilize every single faculty of his body in the service of the Lord, and he conquered all material desires. Kamam tudasyam natu kama kamyaya. He does not become the servant of his material desires. Rather, even though being a king of the whole world, he could conquer all the material desires. Yaduttamashloka gunashaya ratihi. He got firm attachment to the Lord. Like that. So now I explained you this. Now I will show you one quiz. Let's see who solved this quiz very fast. So you are seeing this. See on the left hand side, there are the different senses, and the right hand side, there are some activities. So you have to match the following. What to do with which senses based on my explanation. Okay, I will ask, you can answer. One by one, everybody can answer. Or whoever want to answer first, they can answer. Okay, the first one is eyes. Yeah, which option?
So option second, studying scriptures like Bhagwad Geeta.
Oh, no. That is also correct. We need eyes to study Bhagwad Gita. But here one specific function is given.
Seeing the deities in temples?
Correct. Very bold. Yes. Nose.
Smelling the fragrance of tulsi offered to the Lord?
Yeah. If you have answered once, please don't answer again. Let everybody else get chance. So nose is for smelling the fragrance of the tulsi offered to the Lord. Correct. Okay, then the ears.
Hearing about the Lord in association.
Yeah, hearing about the Lord in association, like all of you are hearing now. Correct. Okay, tongue.
Tasting the Lord's prasad.
Tasting the Lord's prasad. Very good. Okay, skin. Touch.
Tasting Lord Prasad.
Oh, no. That is for the tongue. Tasting Lord's prasad is for the tongue. Next is for the skin, for the touch.
The last one, the bodies of Lord's devotees.
Touching the bodies of Lord's devotees, like during dancing kirtans, or washing the feet of the great saintly persons, or just embracing our devotee friends. That itself is a devotional activity. Like that. Okay, hands.
Cleansing of God's temple and serving God. Cleaning the Lord temple.
Yeah, cleaning the Lord's temple. That's why like we should try to find out some service in the temple where we can do some seva. I will speak about it. Okay, then the legs.
Walking to the holy places and temples.
Yeah, going for holy pilgrimage, going for yatra to Vrindavan or Mayapur or Jagannath Puri or Tirupati or some holy place and coming temples. Yeah, like that. And mind.
Studying scriptures like Bhagwad Geeta.
No, that is not the mind. I told what is the mind, how we engage the mind. How we engage the mind?
Chanting holy name.
Chanting holy name.
Chanting the holy names.
Yes,
Chanting holy
correct. Chanting the holy names. So when we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare, like this, when we do chanting every day, by chanting we engage our mind to Krishna. Like that. Okay, and intelligence?
Studying scriptures.
Yeah.
Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, because to understand Bhagavad Gita, we need intelligence. Correct. That is, in fact, Krishna says also in the Bhagavad Gita at the end that one who hears this conversation between Arjuna and Krishna is worshipping Krishna through his intelligence. Okay. And ego? How does he engage our ego?
Bowing down before the Lord.
Yeah, bowing down, because nobody likes to bow down in this world. So when you bow down, you engage your ego also. You become humble in front of the Lord. So this is what we discuss. So you see, this is what is called as devotional service. So see the point which I am saying now, none of us are currently so elevated that we are sthita pragya. None of us is on a state of samadhi, where we are perfectly sense controlled or we don't have any mental desires. Correct? We are not on that stage. But even if we are not on that stage, through Krishna consciousness, we can experience the same joy, the same feeling, the same spiritual experience if we utilize all our faculties, all the senses in the service of the Lord, the way we discussed in this quiz. Like that. Then, even while living in this world, even while doing all our duties, when we are engaging our senses like this, senses have no way to run here and there. Senses will have no way to go towards sense gratification. It will be engaged in service of the Lord. For example, through our eyes, I have the option either to watch the deities of the Lord or to watch some, dramas or movies related to the Lord, or I can watch some cinema movies, some Hollywood, Bollywood movies. It's up to me. So if I engage my eyes in watching something related to the Lord, that is spiritual, then there's no place for material desires. Correct. Similarly, through my nose, if I want, I can smell so many, this perfume, this deodorant, that deodorant, like that, or I can smell the fragrance offered to the Lord. That fragrance that will purify my heart. Similarly, through our ears we can hear all so many cinema songs, this song, rock, hop, pop, all this kind of song, or we can hear devotional music, kirtans, bhajans, like that. So point is that we have to spiritualize. So Krishna consciousness is a very, very practical process. It's nothing about shunning our activities. It's just engaging them in the right way. That is why I can tell you with complete conviction, based on my last 17 years of Krishna conscious practice, that no matter how many lectures you hear, no matter how much books you read, no matter how much analysis you may do of the philosophy, till the time you apply and engage yourself in spiritual practices, we are not going to move even an inch in spiritual life. And therefore, it is in our benefit that we all should look forward to opportunities for rendering seva, opportunities for rendering service, both in our own places, in our own respective homes, and regularly to temples also. For example, In the temples, there are regularly some festivals like Janmashtami. Now Gaur Purnima is going to come in a March, and various festivals. So whoever is our coordinator, we should approach them and ask them that, Prabhuji, these festivals are coming. Is there some seva which I can render? For example, so many people come to temple, so we can serve prasadam to them. We can make, when we go to temple, we can make garlands for the Lord. We can make, if somebody is expert in, there can be a number of services. We can help in decoration, garland making. We can help in, there are variety of services. We can cook for the Lord. We can make dresses for the Lord. There are so many activities we can do. Similarly, when we are at home also, we all have to think. You all can think in your own, take some time out and think that, okay, how can I spiritualize my home? How can I make the environment at my home more Krishna conscious? Like that. So there can be a number of ways. For example, one simple example, some few examples I can give. For example, we all have phones. We have phones. So now in the phone, you can have a screensaver or wallpapers of some different people, or you can have Krishna wallpapers. You can have wallpapers of deities, right? So whenever people use mobile now, so many times in a day they use mobile. So whenever you see the mobile, first thing what you will see Krishna. So you are Krishna conscious in that way. Similarly, in the home, what else you can do? In the home, people like to keep paintings. Paintings of different people, this, that. So instead of keeping here their paintings, we can take paintings of Krishna related paintings, and we can decorate our home like that. Like I remember when I was a child, my father, practically our whole house, whichever room I used to go, there used to be so many paintings, because my father is a very devotional minded person. I remember when I was in 10th standard, and that time my father has taken a vow to go to Govardhan, which is near to Vrindavan, and do parikrama of Govardhan, Girirajji, every month once. So our whole family used to go to Govardhan every month once in the Purnima time and used to do parikrama. So while returning, my father used to purchase one paintings every day. And after coming in the home, he used to put on different walls in the home. So wherever I turn, it's all Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Everywhere Krishna only. Krishna Saram Krishnamayan Jagat. Like that. So that samskaras go very deeply. So even the children at the home now, when they see Krishna in the home, that samskaras go very deeply to children also. Indirectly, we are making children as Krishna conscious. Their Chetana becomes very, and the whole aura, the whole vibrations in the homes also becomes very spiritualized. Similarly, some more tips like, like there are chanting machines. Like you have seen sometimes people keep this machines which keep singing the mantra, like people keep this Gayatri machine. So Gayatri mantra keeps going on. So like this, we can purchase from the temple this Hare Krishna machine. Prabhupada chanting is going on, either in chanting where the kirtans are going on constantly. Like one of my friend is there. He has a big house. So in this house, he has kept a central sound system, which means when he play the music from the central sound system, in every room there's a speakers are there. So he play kirtans from the central sound system, and in every home, every room, even in the kitchen, even in the bathroom, the kirtan is going on like that. So I'm just suggesting whatever the different ways like that. Similarly, we all have puja ghar in our rooms, in our homes, so we can keep deities, Radharas, Bihari photos there, and whatever we cook, we can offer it to the Lord. Obviously, we should not offer non-veg items to the Lord, or items with onion and garlic. In case we are cooking something without onion garlic, and we are cooking with proper standards, then we can offer it to the Lord with putting a tulsi and ring the bell and offer to the Lord. That will become prasadam. Then the whole family will get prasad. Like whenever I go to my home, so when my mother cooks, whatever she cooks, I first take it and I offer to the Lord. They are ringing the bell. And then after the Lord has taken, for 5-10 minutes, we keep in front of the Lord. And then we take it out and I mix that prasad of the Lord in the entire food. Then the whole food becomes prasad. Then now whenever my brother or anybody in the home, now they are going to eat. What they will eat? They will eat prasadam. So in this way we are giving them prasad. So my point is that spiritual life is a very, very practical, and it is more than philosophy, it is cultural presentation actually. So we have to think ways both in home and temples, how to make our life more and more spiritualized. Like that. There can be many ways, like the celebrating festivals at home, at temples, centered around the Lord. Point is that utilizing all our faculties in spiritual life. That's how we experience spiritual juice even in our conditioned state. Like that. So these were some a few tips like that. Yeah. Um, so I will like to end here because the discussion can go on very much. We have just begun. We have only covered a couple of verses today. But now I'd like to take some questions in case you have like that. And whenever we meet next time, or Sundarjin to continue, you can he will continue, or whenever I come next time, I can continue more on this. So till today, what we discussed, I showed you 4 questions, and the question is how to experience juice and Krishna consciousness, even in our conditioned state. And the answer to that, I showed you the verses from Bhagavad, the 2nd chapter, text number 54 to 55, where Krishna is saying that the general symptoms is that a person who is on the samadhi stage, he is free from mental desires, born from mental concoction, and he finds satisfaction in the self alone. So, how we can attain that stage? I explained this, that artificially it is not possible to be free from mental desires. For being free from mental desires, we have to engage ourselves in Krishna conscious spiritual activities. And how we will engage in Krishna conscious spiritual activity? For that, our mind has to like spiritual activity. हमारे मन को spiritual activity पसंद आना चाहिए. कैसे पसंद आएंगे हमारे मन को spiritual activities? The mind will like spiritual activities when we identify ourselves as spiritual being. So we have to reinforce our identification as Krishna's servant. And how we do that? We do that by regular association, through regular classes like this we are having. So the more we realize our position as Krishna's servant, the more we identify, the more we like to engage in spiritual activities. And how we engage in spiritual activity, I explained you 3 verses from Ambarish Maharaj section. Correct? Where Ambarish Maharaj is engaging all his senses. And I also showed you one quiz of how you can also do it practically, like that. So, when this happens, then you yourself will experience the spiritual joy. One last example I will quote and I will end. Just like when you eat food. See, 3 things happens when you eat food. When you eat, first,
No connection, Prabhuji.
I don't think so he can hear us.